And we know that Manchester City are going to want to reboot in a big way. Of course, they have the likely boost of their best midfielder coming back. They also have the likelihood of the most dangerous attacker in the league probably having another one of those seasons. So those are going to be big factors immediately, but they will want to do some recruitment. And we know they were linked with Gibbs White, and they've also, according to this here that you've put in the notes for the show, been linked with someone that I know there was someone screaming about it in the chats. Please talk about Baliba. And how many times, I think it's the last 3 shows in a row, you've used the phrase, I'd love to be saying this name, but we're not hearing this name. So talk to us about City and who they're linked with, because unless I'm mistaken, there's also another name, a very high-profile German footballer who Liverpool were linked with just today.
Yeah, it's... For next season, everyone's talked about Arsenal and their strikers. There's a bit of a worry for me that Manchester City, with the players they're going for, could really be back in next season. And obviously, we know De Bruyne is going. They look at revamping it. And yeah, I mean, we mentioned there, Balaba's another name that's coming up from various journalists. They've had a good look at him as well. Don't like that. Also, don't like the fact that, as I sent you the screenshots and different bits, Manchester City are discussing it again with Adam Wharton's camp at the same time. They had a bid in January, which was a bit of a piss take bid, really, turned down. I think they knew, but it was more to like lay the groundwork for Adam Wharton, was the belief. And I don't like that at all, because everyone's going to want us to say, we're chasing Baliba, as you said, we're chasing Wharton. No, for what we have, Manchester City are, lads. So that isn't good news particularly either. You can see on the screen as well there, Mike McGrath had it in the Telegraph. Reijnders is another name that they're looking at. And I think if you put it in the chat panel as well, Bayern Munich are still the favourites, but Manchester City, we mentioned this name before, are having a proper good crack at trying to get Florian Wirtz. And they're positioning themselves because they expect it to be Bayern, as many do, but Bayern have got a few, not money issues, but making the books balance issues, let's call it that way, which we'll talk about. So I'm not going to lie, Trev. Of all the segments we've had in the show, this is the one I hate the most. Because imagine City get players like Balaba, Wharton, Gibbs White, Reijnders, Wirtz. I'm not saying they'll get all of these, but we're not happy if they get a couple, are we? And all of a sudden, Rodri back as well. You're a bit nervous about City again, aren't you?
Yeah, and rightly so. I mean, you would have to be incredibly naive to write them off as being done all of a sudden, because it's just a couple of factors need to get fixed back in. And I can just see how that season just got away from them. And there's a mentality thing. We've seen a little bit of it ourselves over the last couple of games where it's like, if you don't have to do something, or if something is just absolutely going to be beyond you in terms of not realistic, then your brain does shut down to a level. They won't start the season like that. And they will make some clever purchases over the summer, you can be sure. Just on the Wirtz thing, there was an article on AnfieldIndex.com today, which was quoting a German outlet called Kölner Stadteinziger, KSTA, as being of the opinion that Liverpool had held direct talks with Florian Wirtz. Only saying what I've seen on the website. I don't know if you've anything to back that up.
The problem is with Wirtz, he's a player Liverpool are well informed of. I think of course, they like him. I think every big club in the world likes him. I think that's the problem, isn't it? Bayern Munich have obviously got the connection and, staying there. And let's be honest, all his pals are at Bayern Munich as well, from the international team as well, like Musiala, that comes into the mix. Manchester City will pay far more in wages than we will. Let's not pretend that. And they're about to shift Kevin De Bruyne off their books as well. I just don't see it. I would love to say it's true. Nothing would give me more pleasure than to see us sign Florian Wirtz and almost play him as like a false nine almost that could be there and just he'd be dynamite, but can't see it.
Worth a mention, though, just because, like I say, we saw it there and someone else might be saying, why are they not bringing that up? Now, Arsenal have, as we know, won the several trophies this season, including the one for most wins against the top six, which is a movable feast, but fair play to you. And also best lads at holding light bulbs under their chins. But in reality, they have gone another season without a trophy, and their manager is a terrible set of lads who's going to go again and be backed, it appears, in the transfer market and fire some more cash at the wall. And the one link that we have for certain with them, it appears, is not for the one area that they were crying all season that they desperately needed someone for, but it's for yet another midfielder. Our pal, the name that I coined back in the day, Mountain Nonce. It looks as if Mr. Mendy is very definitely on his way towards Arsenal from what I can see.
Honestly, I don't know if anyone saw the quotes that have come from Mendy about it. I kind of thought like they must be lies, but quite a lot of journalists have said, no, we've got those quotes as well. I mean, Mountain Nonce and people going, oh, like Arsenal fans, they've won something. No one else wanted Mendy. That's not to say he's a bad player, but over 26, like the reluctance to move. I think everyone else has moved on. So that's why Arsenal are in the mix. And the only game in town a little bit from him, if you speak to many journos. So there's that. But for him to talk about, oh, I've looked at other clubs and, you know, I want to be part of the Arsenal project. Does he buggery? Like, who really says that? Come on. Or I will want to win trophies at Barcelona or Real Madrid or like, come on. Like, if you honestly believe that, you need help. But God bless them Arsenal fans. They are determined, if nothing else. And then the other ones to mention, if you can see it on the screen, they are in talks with Leandro Trossard because there is speculation that if he signs a deal beyond 2030, that his Cruella de Vil haircut will go all the way through. So we're all intrigued to see what happens there. And you'll love this as well, Trev. Not only are they looking at picking up a defensive midfielder, the other news we have around Arsenal is that because Kieran Trippier is set to leave, they are looking at another left back. Yes, another position they have zero options in, of course.
That's just spectacular. What's the Trossard angle? Just repeat that to me. Or what was it? Is it an improved contract or an extended contract or both?
Bit of both, yeah. Running because I think he's like nearly. I can't remember. I think he might even be over 30. But I kind of judge Trossard in the Premier League by how big that Cruella de Vil thing gets down his head, like in what year, how old he is. So I'm guessing they just want to see if that gets all the way to the back, maybe. But he's been a good player in his pomp. But
he has.
But you don't like. It shouldn't trouble anyone that Arsenal are keeping Trossard as one of their attackers.
No, and long may this frustration period last for them, because I'm knocking great fun out of myself personally. We move from Arsenal to Chelsea and United, who are both in kind of some sort of battle for at least one youngster, and also for a lad that was linked with Liverpool, it seems, for the striking berth. So talk to us about Chelsea and United and the various links there.
Yeah, people have never heard of this kid, but Barcelona teenager Juan Hernandez Torres is targeted by both. I think Chelsea have a thing about signing youngsters who they're never going to use, don't they? And stockpiling them Sweeney Todd styles. This almost feels like it'll be another one who they buy and it's like you'll never hear of again. But United apparently in for him at the same time. And then Liam Delap. Has there ever been a striker that's been relegated like this and seemed to be in such demand? I think that price tag of 30 million for a homegrown striker with real promise is just exciting everyone. And United are in the mix. Chelsea, we said, are in the mix. Arsenal. But one of the big things we got, as well as the other options, is he does like the idea of moving back to the Northwest where he's from. So if United do get the Champions League, don't write him ending up there off.
Interesting. And just on that, the Liverpool Delap links have pretty much disappeared, haven't they? I haven't heard anything in quite a while on that one. That fair to say?
Yeah, I think, again, he's a player that if you were Liam Delap and Liverpool were telling you, listen, we like you, we're going to sell Núñez, we'll probably try and flip Jota. So if we get rid of Jota, you can come in and obviously work your way up. Oh, by the way, we are targeting some other forwards and other attackers at the same time. When Arsenal, Manchester United and Chelsea are in your ear, you are struggling to see it a little bit. I mean, the latest we said last week, wasn't it? Liverpool have talked to his agents and encouraged them to hold off. But if you're Liam Delap's camp, why would you, in all honesty, if you're not a Liverpool fan?
Yeah, fair. And we normally save Saudi to the last section of the show, but what we'll do is we'll use it as the last section of this middle part because there's a nice segue there with United, who we've just mentioned, and their current captain, who is being heavily courted, it seems, by the Saudi League, again with this competition in mind, no doubt. And they're not just setting their cap at Bruno Fernandes, but also at a couple of other players around the Premier League. So just talk us through this, because it does look like it's going to be an interesting factor in the immediate short-term window that we've got coming up.
Yeah, so even if it's just for a short period, we got a real chance of the Saudis being the paradigm shifters as well, just the disruptors for this little period across. And I mean, Amorim's spoken about it in his press conferences, hasn't he, about Bruno Fernandes and want him to stay. And these are well-established stories that the Saudis would love to get Bruno Fernandes for a princely fee. There's another Bruno as well that they've talked to Newcastle about in Bruno Guimarães. And people thinking, well, why would they? Well, who's trying to buy him and who owns the Saudi clubs? Oh, look, It's all the same person, isn't it? Like, I'll talk to myself. I want to buy Bruno. How much should I pay for Bruno? So they can easily have that little conversation that way, can't they? So, yeah, absolutely. That is an option for Newcastle, which could, if it's possible, suit everyone. And then to stay with the glamorous names, Abdoulaye Doucouré at Everton, who is set to be on a free, Trev. And yeah, the Saudis are making an offer to his camp. I'm not going to be funny. Put it this way, if my option is between Everton and Saudi, then the Clashers Rock the Casbah is going straight on my CD player, put it that way.